Hey guys, it's me. I'm back to bitch again.
Don't say that you love me.
I'm back, baby. I don't want to make this video to point out the obvious, which has already been done to death by my peers. What I want to do is bring you my perspective on why I am so incredibly disappointed with Nintendo Switch Online Expansion Pass. This shit is... I am so disappointed. I am beyond upset by this. Honestly, I feel insulted by Nintendo themselves that they would release something like this. Let me explain. When Nintendo originally launched the Nintendo Switch Online service, it was originally just a service that you needed to pay for to play online games on your Switch, which is fine.
Bruh.
I want to stop right there. I am not a fan of this practice. I will tell you that first and foremost. The first thing you have to do is you have to pay for the console to play the game. Then you have to pay for the game. You also have to pay for your own internet connection, as well as the electricity to power everything, and they still charge you to play online. It is fucking ridiculous, and you will be hard-pressed to convince me otherwise. Paying for online is an industry standard that I think stems from a place of greed that has been here since the inception of online gaming, and it should be removed. Like, you can play any game online right now on your computer for free, but for some reason you have to pay a premium if you want to play a home console experience on the internet. It is ridiculous. It is absurd. It is dumb. But every other company under the sun has been doing this since two console generations ago. Right? We've been paying for online service. It was clear Nintendo was eventually going to do it too with their new console. Like, they were the only ones. They were the oddballs out at that point. They were letting you play their games for free, so it's a little understandable why they're making us pay. The thing is, for the first year of the Switch, you could play all these games for free. I was playing Splatoon 2 online for free, day one, through whatever day Nintendo Switch Online dropped. Right? So Nintendo launches a service. It comes with this weird fucking app you have to download on your smartphone in order just to use voice chat. The voice chat was weird and all that, and the app really should have just been on the Switch itself. Like I said, online gaming has been a part of the gaming sphere for nearly two console generations now. It was here for the PS3 and the PS4. It's here for the Xbox 360 and the Xbox One, right? And these consoles have had this feature built into them. Like, this is a built-in feature of the console. You could play with your friends and you could communicate over voice chat over the internet on the console. Nintendo decides to make this a mobile app for some ungodly reason. I still don't understand it to this day. The voice chat being weird, okay, listen, you can look past it. They're offering you an exclusive mobile app with a bunch of exclusive features to it. Now, that is aside from the fact that the online service itself, the connection to your friends while you're playing these games, was also incredibly lackluster. They announced it was $20 a year, and in addition to paying for this online pay-to-play service, you are also getting free access to a finely selected library of Nintendo classics. You got NES titles, and you got Super NES titles, included with that $20 annual purchase. You can play these games anywhere on your Switch. I'm talking games like Zelda. I'm talking like Yoshi's Island. I'm talking like A Link to the Past. I'm talking every Mario game under the sun. It is a pretty good deal for what it is. However, it's still $20 for an online service that doesn't work as advertised. We were also promised we'd be getting more NES and SNES games as the service grew, you know? So, clearly we're under the assumption we're getting a good product here. But as it would turn out, the games they added was it like an overtime drip feed kind of thing. The exact same thing that they did with the other games that they've released recently. I'm thinking ARMS, Splatoon 2. I think the worst example of this drip feeding shit is, honestly, Super Smash Brothers. And I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for saying that, but I mean, months between DLC character releases, each character is like hyped up, back in like the day, I hate to sound like a boomer, but just know that I am a boomer. Like that, I cannot escape it. I'm a boomer when it comes to games. Back in the day, all of the characters that were released in a Smash Brothers game, they were released with the game. When we saw Sonic and Snake in Brawl, it was cool, but they were released from the start. You could play those characters from day one. That's the problem. The fact that they have to do this with DLC characters to extend this game's lifespan is kind of gross. But it works. That's what kills me. It works. Anyways, so Nintendo launches their service. It comes with this weird app that you have to download on your phone in order to use voice chat. The voice chat was all weird, and the app really should have just been included on the Switch itself, like every other fucking company has it. So it sucks. The base service sucks. We all know it sucks, but the fact that it's cheaper than the alternatives made it more, I don't know, tolerable, palatable. Only $20 a year. I mean, pretty good. Pretty good. My personal favorite games as a kid were the Nintendo 64, the GameCube, and the Game Boy eras. So when I heard that Nintendo would finally be adding 64 games to this online subscription, I was pretty thrilled. I'm not gonna lie. Ever since I was a kid, I've had this idea of being able to take the game I was playing at home on my TV with me to school. Like, I always wanted to be able to play those games that I loved so much on the go. Now that I'm an adult and technology's advanced, we have that. We have that luxury. It's amazing. I cannot understate how impactful the Switch is going to be for gaming moving forward. I mean, the fact that you can take your game from one screen and then take it with you anywhere in the world, it's groundbreaking. It's a dream come true. The problem is, Nintendo's fucking squabbling it. They announced the Nintendo 64 games are coming to this subscription service. What they don't tell us up front is that there's a $50 fucking price tag.
Bruh.
Well, starting at the pricing options shown here. Nintendo Switch Online plus Expansion Pack adds the 3 benefits we previously introduced, starting at this pricing plan. If 2 or more people will be using this...
And that for that $50, we're getting 9 fucking games. 9 Nintendo 64 games for $50. For 9 games that are almost 20 years old, I mean, come on, really? Then on top of that, here's the thing I really don't get about this. We get 14 Sega Genesis games. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the Sega Genesis was not worthwhile. The Sega Genesis was an amazing console. The games on the Sega Genesis were fucking classics. But the problem with this being a part of Nintendo Switch Online is that it's Sega. Right? It's a different company. And also, Sega's already released all of these games, almost every one of these games, separately, through other collections on basically every console under the sun. You can go and buy these Sega Genesis titles on any other console and have arguably the same experience. The novelty here is that you can take it with you anywhere, but you can do that with portable emulation as well. So it's kind of a joke. Now here's my problem. Here is my problem with this. Are we not paying for a Nintendo service? I imagine Nintendo is marketing this expansion pass as something for their more hardcore fans like me, who are looking for their classic titles, their classic first-party titles. I assume that this expansion pass would have been Nintendo 64, Game Boy, and GameCube games, because that's what people online in most of these Nintendo circles were clamoring over. They wanted these games. I can specifically remember seeing a bunch of people asking for Game Boy Advance titles specifically just for Pokemon. Just to play Pokemon games. Like Emerald, Ruby, Sapphire, Fire Red, Leaf Green, all of those older classic Game Boy games. Those are the games people were asking for, not Sega Genesis games. I don't think I saw anybody asking for Sega Genesis games. It's nice we get to play Sonic again, but at the same time, didn't they already release that on Nintendo's own eShop? It's kind of disgusting, really, that we would put up with the first initial Nintendo Switch Online, but then deal with the, like... I do not think I'm the only person in the world suspecting foul play here either. I believe the price tag on this is so high in part due to Sega asking for a large cut of money that Nintendo was not willing to shell out without raising the price scheme. I don't think that's like an opinion either. I think that's a fact. The expansion pass should have been reserved for the consoles that Nintendo's been neglecting. The consoles I mean are the consoles we haven't seen massive re-releases for. Like, we had the SNES and the NES Mini already, and then they included those on Nintendo Switch Online. I can see that. What I think myself and everyone else wanted out of an expanded service was more of Nintendo's classics. Like the Nintendo 64, the GameCube, the Game Boys, hell, maybe even the DS and the Wii. That's what we wanted. But we got the Genesis for some reason. The next thing I want to talk about is the quality of the emulation. I can't talk for the quality on every single game here, because I haven't played them. And I'll be honest, I don't plan on playing them either. From what I've seen, the other games are pretty bad too. I've only played Mario Kart. I've only played Mario Kart 64. And my experience with it was very bad. I planned on playing every game on the service, because I paid for it, so I planned on playing all of them. But I'm not playing them all. I'll just be honest with you. I made it probably 3 hours into Mario Kart 64 before I was just completely disappointed. The quality of the emulation is just not there. I mean, it is inexcusable for me to be playing a game from 20 years ago and having, like, simple things like corrupted sound effects, the music cutting out randomly while I'm playing. Like, that kind of stuff is ridiculous to me. You couldn't get the base emulation right, but you wanted to charge $50 fucking for it? One of the most important and the foundational aspects of Mario Kart as a series has been the soundtrack. When people look back at these games, they're thinking about those soundtracks. They think about these soundtracks because they're good. So when I'm playing Mario Kart 64, with one of the most legendary soundtracks in the series, might I add, and the sound effects are corrupted, and the soundtracks just randomly cut out mid-game, like, that's a critical part of the game that's just not there anymore. Is this really the quality Nintendo is trying to push? I do not have to sit here and tell you the importance of music and sound effects in a game. I feel like that's been said plenty of times. Music is one of the most important parts of the medium of gaming itself, I would argue. The music of Mario Kart is what makes it so special. It's what makes it stand out, aside from the Nintendo branding. I assume this was just a small bug present on Nintendo Switch Online. Sure. I also had kind of faint memories of playing, that one track? It's like the Yoshi Valley track, the egg that rotates. I had fond memories of playing the game and having buggy-ass problems with that track in particular. I could remember the music cutting out, I think. I know for a fact it couldn't tell you who was in first place, because I think that the Nintendo 64 just wasn't powerful enough to do that. I went to go play Mario 64 on my own, just to see if that was true. And it wasn't! So the emulation is just botching the game. It's botching the experience. I would argue it's ruining the experience of the game. Like, the music is so important, and it's just not there. Like, honestly, I'm getting way too mad at Nintendo right now, bro. I am big mad. But I've decided, if you're gonna cut out one of the most fundamental aspects of this singular game, what other aspects are you gonna cut from the other games? I look online and I see this picture of the water temple of Ocarina of Time without the shading and without the reflection of the water, and I'm like, this looks second rate. This does not look like something from a AAA game developer. I honestly don't want to play the rest of them. I think this is an insult. How disappointing that I paid $50 fucking for 9 games that I already owned 7 of, just to get punked. It is unbelievable how upset I am. May I remind you, there are no refunds for this, nor Are there any alternative ways to pay less? You have to pay the $50 because you have to buy the annual subscription. You cannot buy monthly. It has to be annual. This is scummy. If this expansion pass had included more games from Nintendo's library or the Nintendo Vault, mainly, I think that the two big ones for most people, just for N64, would have been GoldenEye and Donkey Kong 64. That it seems impossible, but if Nintendo had done that, that would make it worth the $50 alone, I think, for a lot of people. If they had included those games, and they had included, like, I don't know, Legacy Game Boy, like a Game Boy Classic, not even Game Boy Color games, man, just Game Boy. Of course, I want Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance, but I have my fingers crossed, but we're not going to get them. Those would have been worth it. I think people would be really willing to pay that, especially if the emulation was there. But the quality is just not there. Right now, the way I'm seeing it, why would you pay $50 for these games when you could go back to the Wii U, the Wii, the 3DS, just go back and buy the ports there on Virtual Console? Or hell, go and emulate it on your computer. Nintendo, this is a shame. As a longtime fan, 20 years, I have to say I am skeptical of the future of your company. If this is what you consider quality, you are falling behind in so many ways while your console continues to sell because of your incredible innovation. You have one of the greatest ideas in gaming history. That is to take your colossal library of classic, absolute gems of games and put them on a system you can play on a TV or in handheld mode anywhere in the world. That is one of the most groundbreaking concepts of all time. But somehow you're squabbling it. If you compared what this service could be, you easily could beat Sony and Microsoft. You could beat them into the dirt. No questions asked. It's just this shit would print money if you would just listen to what people are saying. Thank you for listening to me, bitch. I hope you liked the video. Let me pull my shirt out of my fucking titties. Make sure you leave a like and a comment. Let me know what you liked about the video and subscribe if you haven't already. I really do appreciate every single one of you. Until next time, you stay cool. Stay epic, gamer.